The founder of XRP and CEO of Ripple has said that XRP will be more valuable than Bitcoin. Also, he makes this point clear by saying that over $654 trillion will be added to the XRP system in just a few weeks. And this comes at the same time that Forbes says XP will cost around $60,000. It's not the first time. This has been the subject of many reports, including one from Forbes that says a $33.7 trillion shock will be good for XRP and cause its price to soar. The report specifically mentions XRP and says that the fall of the US dollar will speed up the entry of $33.7 trillion into the XRP ledger in weeks. This is very important because it means that central banks are starting to use XRP. As you can see from this report from 2023, 19 central banks said they bought more than 9.4 billion in XR in the fourth quarter of that year. Think about how much this number has grown in the past few months. In particular, if you look at some of these countries like Russia and India, they are BRICS countries. South Africa, China, and even Brazil. This is really big. Again, these are just a few of the agreements like the one between Ripple and China. It's Ripple with Russia right before it. It's Ripple with Brazil right before it. That's not even counting the United States, which plan to use XRP to create a crypto reserve and bring the Federal Reserve banking system up to date. Before we get into the video and all the information, we need to let you know that we work with people who watch today's movie could get up to $100 worth of free XRP. Absolutely everyone, even you, needs to know this. Yes, you're seeing this movie. Now, all you have to do is like the video, subscribe to the channel so you can get new notifications, and share this video. After that, you need to sign up, upload using the link in the description, and make a purchase. Let's start the video. Now, guys, Brad Gullinghouse, CEO of Ripple, is here now. Some people, David, say that Ripple could be the next Bitcoin. Brad, what do you think? Does the fact that Ripple might become the next Bitcoin mean something good? I believe it's a compliment if we're fixing a real problem on a large scale. In crypto, I think the most important thing is to figure out what is real and what is just talk. Brad Gullinghouse, CEO of Ripple, is here now. And, David, yeah, so the SEC is what has changed the price of XRP. Honestly, I think a lot of people forget that XRP was the second most valuable digital asset after ETH before the SEC got involved in the crypto markets. Then the SEC stepped in and said, hey, we think ETH is probably fine. ETH went up, but XRP went down after they sued Ripple. This isn't how our government should work. Our playing field should be level and everyone should have the same chances. In this case, our government shouldn't be picking winners and losers. The community is frustrated right now, and I liked how you described it for the XRP family. We think we'll win in the end, and you know that things will work out in the end. Do they think that XRP and how it works are similar to Bitcoin? So, you know about Bitcoin now. As we already said, Bitcoin has been a great experiment in many ways, but not when it comes to payments. That's how fast Bitcoin works. It can take up to an hour to confirm a transaction. It seems like Tabit already said that you won't use Bitcoin to buy coffee unless you're willing to wait an hour for the transaction to go through, which would cost a lot. So your Bitcoin about crypto taking the place of Swift. So we did talk earlier, and you said that it's not necessarily about removing Swift, but rather about making it better. Okay, let's find out more about this. Okay, I used to work for Swift. Okay, Swift 20 years. That's why Swift is running through my blood. Swift is the best messaging system for the financial industry. It's used for things like payments, foreign exchange, trade in stocks, and not reconciliations. But what we're looking at with crypto is a system like Swift's store and forward for most of its payments. You need service level agreements to say, I will do something at a certain time, but payment will arrive at a certain time that day. In this section, we'll look at the new network styles that let funds move instantly and be seen by everyone. At that point, banks wouldn't have to ask you, have my funds arrived? 3 days later, they would just be able to find question messages floating around the network. That's not like that at all. I don't think Ripple will take the place of Swift. Ripple is one of the free networks that companies that need real time will be able to use. Another thing I think we can see is that Swift is changing how their network works so that real time will be possible. If we use something like FX, we might also see Ripple XRP move across the Swift network as a currency. That's why I'm just going to move on for a second. What is being said here is huge, but what we need to know is the size of the ins, titutions, and the amount of money that will be on the XRP launcher, which is 650 trillion. Now let's look at this number. It tells us how much the whole real estate market is worth, which is about $654 trillion. After an organization called Ryofi officially joined the XRP ledger, this number became one of the most important parts of it. It gave people access to a huge amount of money, or at least the option to join trillions of dollars. I mean, the Rio V institution just unlocked the institutional XRP Ledger Asset Program a few days ago on August 22nd. This made it possible for a huge $220 trillion to enter the XRP Ledger. In the last few days, Rupa has grown by leaps and bounds, adding over 3,000 new users and hitting a market capitalization of 29 million in their XRP-based ecosystem. They just recently made a big announcement about this. They also said that their team would be talking to the world's top institutions to find out how the UFI reward system built on the XRP ledger could be used in global real estate. And we're talking about a business worth a lot of money. There are talks going on with multi-trillion-dollar institutions, and it will all show up on the XRP record. If you're asking, RealVi is built on top of the XRP ledger using their own token, the Real token. This is how they make payments and rewards from different amounts of money to other real estate. The size of this thing is now spreading across countries. In every way, it's huge. We've talked about it because the value of Real token has gone through the roof since it first came out. It went from less than a penny, I think it was a tenth of a penny, to more than 3 cents, almost 4 cents. It got as high as almost 5 cents and is now in a zone where prices are going back down. Now it went back. It's getting stronger, and it looks like a big breakout is about to happen. This is really big, guys. Trillions of dollars will flow into the XRP ledger first through the Real token, and then from the Real token to the XRPL. If we look, we can see that there is very little opposition. Now it's clear that you need to tell the difference between Reali and the Real ticket. The Real token is being used instead of the Reali, which is the organization. This is huge. Like, there are a couple of, not by my words, but by the words of some of the influential people, $10,000 could become millions of dollars. It's hard to believe how many Real tokens are being sold for. To be honest, it's crazy, and I'm going to tell you guys, it's pretty simple. It blows my mind. Some influential people, experts, and people who work in this field have said that the price of Real ticket could go from 3 cents to over $950 in the next 24 days to a month. Some people even said $60,000 because there are different amounts of Real tokens. Right now, there are 50 million Phase 1 tokens available. Guys, this is a strong sign. After 24 hours, it's clear that it's gone up 10%. It has been given a score of 10 out of 10. That's a 100% BX score and a 100% KYC score. For low risk, the top 3 wallets are the top 3 users. There are more than 3,000 of them. That is, this thing is getting bigger. They had about 20,800 wallets when we last talked about it. They have already grown huge $200 wallets. This is what makes me optimistic about XRP. This is why I think XRP will go up. And of course, I got a nice juicy bank. Also, I want to make it clear that I'm not a financial planner. It's not advice about money. Do not do study. However, we're talking about RealFi since it's a very important organization. You can also check out this important building. The Real coin is actually what payfi.com uses as its reward token for real estate. Real tokens are built on the XP record, of course. You can see that they use both Real token and XRP if you go to the website and click on Real token. But you can buy Real tokens straight from these exchanges that list the Xiaomi's. As well as from the realchain.com widget that you can find on RealFire. That's why both pi.com and the realchain.com will take you to places where you can buy the Real token. But once more, I'm not a business expert, but this is a good sign, which is why it's so exciting. Ladies and gentlemen, with that said, I'll end the show now. I hope you all had fun. Don't forget to share, like, and connect with the movie. That's all I have to say about it, guys. See you in the next one.